Hello. So is everyone back, Charles?
It looks like.
We had no choice.
Yes, everyone's back.
Everybody's back. You just wanted to keep chatting for a while yet, didn't you? Okay, thank you, everyone. So what we have about, 8 to 10 minutes just to capture some of the, some key themes that were happening, two things. One, Rotary, what kind of great Rotary experiences have people had? And also, what do you want to get out of today? So those are the two key things. So who wants to, I believe we had 7 groups. So who wants to start?
Lars's room was the first.
Hey, Lars.
Okay. Yeah, well, we had a group and I think the best experience, the common theme there was actually an opportunity to get together, whether it was the picnic that Lois arranged for my own club, the Toronto Eglinton Club, or like the Willowdale Club is planting bulbs in the North York Hospital today together, the bottle drives and the rib fests, opportunities really to get together in person. I think we could say, but you were different. And what do we want to get out of this? Retention, I think, would be the common denominator for that. We are pretty good at getting people to come in, but we have, like someone said, a number of people who are sort of in the 30 to 50 year range. They pay the dues, but we hardly see them. And how do we get people excited? If I missed something or simplified it, the members of the group, please correct me or add.
You can always put comments in the chat box at the bottom and we'll follow those as well. Next up is Bob Wallace, followed by Joseph.
Thanks, Charles. So I had a group of 7 of us, including me, and the best Rotary moment in the past few months or weeks during COVID, I guess, is similar to what Lars says, actually getting together. So one club had a yard sale and arranged by a sort of a brand new member, a couple, and was highly successful. Couple of clubs have had a dinner pickup, and those have been quite successful. A rib fest, and one has done some club runner training sessions. So the fact that we can get together for physically in these yard sales or eat at home or Zoom meetings, just to get together and chat and see each other seemed to be an underlying theme. To follow Lars, our what do we want to get out of today? New ideas and retention were the prime focus. One of our group was quite a new member to Rotary and wants to learn more about membership to be involved in the club membership committee. So new ideas and retention were the focus of the what do we want out of today?
Bob, any theme to the new ideas or just generally? Okay.
No new ideas. So basically, we can discuss things, and some idea might pop up that you can take back to your club.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay, Virginia.
Joseph, followed by Joan.
Thanks, Charles. In my group, there were 6, including myself. It's similar to what Lars and Bob were talking earlier. It seems that most of the or best experience has been when people got together. Interesting from, I'm just going to talk with somebody from Dan Coombs from Whitby. Apparently they do a walk in the park. The different committees, up to 10 members, they go in the park and they clean. So it's a great way to get together, and you control the number. And the same kind of message came from Toronto Eglinton and even David from York. They're trying to do a foundation walk. So it seems that people want to come out and do something and reach out to other groups within the community, not only Rotary, to come and see them and take part. I think Whitby also want to get, I think, some of the councillors involved to come out. What they want to get from today, it's very simple. So share ideas and learn from others. Really, that's been the message. Making sure that see what everybody else is doing and see if they can learn from experiences others have. So that's all I have from my group.
Thank you, Joseph.
Joan, followed by Dave.
Okay, there were 5 members in our group, and we talked about a lot of different things. One of the things we also talked about that hasn't been mentioned is reaching out to those who maybe don't join a Zoom meeting or we haven't seen. And it was really interesting because Whitby Sunrise, he's a runner, Kevin, and he's running past a member's house. So he knocked on the door, social distance, and had a meeting with him, and it went very well. And I think that's an important thing to do when you have members who aren't coming into the Zoom. Also, Linda Rainey mentioned the seeing the polio flag go up virtually, I'm assuming, and how moving that still was. We talked a lot about the ease of getting into other club meetings to see how other clubs do things because we can Zoom in. You might have to get up early. We talked about a couple of things. That's all you have to do because you don't have to drive. We talked about some of the things that have been successful for getting us involved and engaged, ours being a Rib Fest. And I think there's also some clubs who are struggling because service projects hard to do during COVID. So you have to be creative in what you.
Did we lose Joan?
Yeah, I think so.
May have. Dave, are you ready?
I'm ready, yes. We had 5 people in our room and we had 5 different Rotary clubs, which is kind of nice. Very much the same thing. Joe Clark loved the picnic, Lars, I'll tell you that. It was so nice to be able to get together outside of a Zoom meeting, he said. And the restrictions, of course, were only 25 people and you had 24 Rotarians there. That's pretty good. We also talked about a couple of other experiences in the last couple of weeks. One that I thought was one of the most important experiences in my life, and that was to hear Holder Knock yesterday announce that Jennifer Jones would become president of Rotary International in 22-23. That's a life-changing experience, and I was very glad of that. We also have on hand today Rotarian and Durham Regional Chair John Henry. He's a member of the Oshawa Rotary Club, and he was very happy about proclaiming World Polio Day in front of 10 Rotary clubs last week and seeing that flag being raised with all 10 presidents and District Governor Mark. That was a pretty nice experience. We're taping all that for our big World Polio Day live stream on October 22nd. What did we want to get out of today? Pretty much exactly the same thing. Ideas on how to get in new members and ideas how to keep members. Those were the 2 key points. So Bob right on the nose, Lars right on the nose. Those are our 2 key takeaways.
Thank you, Dave. Marcy, followed by John Burns.
Hi, yes, I was just wanting to say that there's a couple of things that came out there. One of the best experiences from Bruce at Sunrise, TL Sunrise, yoga in the park. You've heard about yoga with goats. Well, this is yoga in the park. That was pretty interesting. And there was 4 of us in the group, 5 of us, including myself. The sentiments were exactly the same as all the other breakout rooms, and that is we delivered groceries and we helped people out during the pandemic and so on. And we are here to figure out how to get more members and how to keep active members, how to keep members active and with new things going on and pandemic is helping us to get new ways to do things. Yeah, so that's basically it. We're just talking about the same things that went on with the other breakout groups. That's it.
Thank you, Marcy. Finally, John Burns.
Okay, we had 6 people in our group. We had Wilf in our group, who unfortunately got cut off at the end because we hadn't left enough time. I apologize for that, Wilf. The interesting things that came out, what people's best experiences were. Liz says she hasn't been a Rotarian for too long, but she did join a Rotary club in St. Lucia a very long time ago. She didn't tell us how long ago, but she said, once you get Rotary in the blood, it's always in the blood. John, his experience that he enjoyed was he had been arranging a golf tournament, but with the COVID thing, it was putting hurdles in his way, but he jumped over every one of them, and eventually he got his golf tournament. Gord, he loved when he was going on holiday, he could go visit other clubs, and you were always made welcome. The spirit of Rotary becomes very clear there. And Grant, very long time member, very, I emphasize. And he told me something I didn't know, that he was the president of the first Rotaract club, and it was in Oshawa, of all places. I don't know whether he lived there at the time, but he said it took Rotary a long time to realize that Rotaract was indeed a real active thing. In terms of what we're all here for, I think everybody's already said the things, so I won't repeat them. I can let you move on.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Virginia.
Did we get Joan and John back?
Don't think so.
Okay, all right. So we may, if we don't get them back, we have to jiggle around our lead, but okay, good. Thank you, everybody. That was wonderful and pretty well on time. Okay, so in our district, we actually have a number of clubs that are growing, even in the middle of COVID. They've actually increased their numbers. And we have a few representatives of these people here today. Now, you may also have some stories, but I thought it'd be interesting if we heard from each one of these. We have 4 clubs, just an idea of what they've done, what they believe they've been doing to get this growth. So let's start with, is President Niecy from Whitby Sunrise here?
Yep, I'm here.
Hi, Niecy.
Hi, how are you?
Very good, thank you. So tell the members here what you sort of, what you've done and also what sort of growth you've had, so.
Okay, so thanks so much and good morning to everybody. So you've heard my name is Niecy Dillon and I'm the current president of the Rotary Club of Whitby Sunrise. I actually asked our membership director to say a few words after me, so he's here with us this morning, Kevin Folk. But adding and maintaining members can be a struggle in the good times, let alone in COVID times. So our club is a club of 89 members, and we've only lost 1 member this past year, but it was due to a move. We've inducted 2 new members during COVID, and we currently have 3 people who are looking to potentially join our club. Engagement is a huge component to keeping our members, giving them a purpose in the club and not just a name. This year, as part of our plan and goals, was to place everyone on a committee in our club. So we have like an ideas committee under our fundraising director. This committee comes up with new ideas to raise funds for the club, and then they get together, talk about it, and plan it out and delegate. We have a hands-on committee under our community service directorship. We thought that writing checks to organizations might be a little tough this year. So I said, let's put on our Rotary colors and get out in the community with actual hands-on work, like cleaning gardens at local shelters, roadside cleanups, bottle drives. With every member on a committee, they feel like there's a purpose in the club and they're part of the bigger picture. So I felt like that was a really big thing. Fellowship is also a huge biggie, which we've heard this morning. Rotary clubs are like extended families. In a lot of cases, they are family. So fellowship is definitely important. And even during these tough times, even more so during these tough times. We've done some paint nights, some Zoom dinner nights. Our club runs a silent auction every year for our President's Night, but not a typical silent auction with items. We auction off unique experiences, such as like this year we did a Korean barbecue dinner at one of our members' homes, outside on the deck. Everything was socially distanced, 10 people maximum. So we were able to still get together with those 10 people. So that's important. Getting new members during COVID can be very tough. How do you meet them? Really, how do you get to know them? How do they get to know us? Our membership director, Kevin, meets one-on-one safely to just get a feel for them. Kevin will also speak to that. Social media is a huge key. Our club posts on average about 2 to 3 times a day with special events coming up, a project that we did, anything that our club is doing, put it on social media and people will come. So Kevin, I'm just gonna ask you to say a few words to everybody here and then that's it.
Yeah, thanks, Niecy. And as Niecy mentioned, I am the membership director at Whitby Sunrise. And so there's 2 things I kind of want to touch on. One of them is kind of pre-COVID, but I think it leans itself into COVID times. So, and I haven't been to too many other clubs, but I think our club is special in just the way we operate and the way that we interact with one another. And I'm talking about sort of our Wednesday morning 7 a.m. meeting. So we meet at a pub here in Whitby. So it's more of a relaxed environment. There's a buffet breakfast that's included. And everyone, I mean, when you walk into the room at 7 a.m. or even before 7 o'clock, it's just buzzing. There's about 40 people that are there pretty religiously. And you walk in and you just feel energized, and it's a great way to bring or showcase what Rotary is all about to a new member. Everyone who leaves after that meeting, coming in and seeing what goes on, they're just like, wow, I can't believe there are so many people, everyone's engaged, there are many different personalities. And so even though that hasn't been happening during COVID, when we are courting a new member, quote unquote, courting a new member, that's something that I really talk about. And at least I can talk about it and express what it's like to be a member of our club. And when other members are talking to potential new people, that's definitely something that is being talked about. And then one of the other things that I like to do, because I'm a relatively new member. I'm coming on my 3-year anniversary, so I've been around for 3 years now, and two of which being membership director. Is sort of just talking about my experience coming into Rotary and what it's done for me both personally and professionally, and how Rotary sort of just makes me feel as a person. And just kind of being down to earth and honest with someone who's interested, I think really lends itself well to letting them know what it's like. They're hearing from a real person. So and that's coming as my own comes as my own words. I don't really have a script to go by, so to speak. So I think it's just a humble, honest description of what being Rotary is all about. So yeah, we have, Niecy mentioned we have a couple people, and I'll wrap it up quick here, guys. Sorry. We have a couple people that are interested. I went and had a beer with a potential member on Thursday night, socially distanced, obviously, but we did go to a pub here in Whitby and sat across the table, and it was great to just connect with somebody that I had never met before, and kind of talk about what Rotary is all about. So I think just speaking from the heart, maybe, and speaking from a place of also being a relatively new member and talking about the way our club operates, it really resonates with people.
Okay.
So yeah, if there's any questions or anything surrounding that,
We'll get to you.
let me know.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Kevin. Okay, we'll go through the clubs and then hopefully we'll have a few minutes for questions, but this is a moving target. Okay, could I have Rhonda? Is Rhonda here from Oshawa?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hi. So I'm Rhonda Gorham. I'm the membership chair this year. I just took over this year from incoming District Governor Ron Dick, who was our membership chair before. So that alone was enough to make me, hit the ground running, because, I had big shoes to, to fill. And I'm a little bit, I might be a little bit competitive. My first question was, how many new members did you induct last year? So that I could see if I could beat that number this year. But as was mentioned, we can induct all the new members we want. If we're not retaining them, we're not going to really grow our club. So part of that is connecting with people and finding out if they're a good fit for your club right off the get-go. And if they're a good fit. And there's ways you can speak to people who are a good fit that you can almost be sure they're going to join the club as soon as they get a chance. You get to know them and they become kind of part of your family right away, right? Couple of the things that I think have been successful for us, Ron started this, I continued it, was the committee meetings that we have them without fail. We have them every 4 weeks, our membership committee. And we try to make sure that we invite people to be on that committee who are people who naturally network in our community, people who know a lot of people who are already Rotarians, sort of as I say, in their personal lives or in their profession already. They're already that type of person, so they would be interested in something like Rotary. So having those meetings religiously without fail, and even as COVID started with Zoom, and we always keep short accounts with our potential membership list, and we try to add new names onto that every single time we meet. Having this meeting when it was in person, Ron was quite ingenious. He thought, one of our membership committee members at the time was the mayor of Oshawa. And now he's here in this meeting as the regional chair. Having it at his office might bring our membership committee together more often, right? It's kind of a fun place to go to have a membership committee meeting. So we were meeting up with John there, and that has really, I think, kept some excitement. And they're not long meetings. They're short. We get to the point. We talk about what we're doing in the next month, and who we're going to bring in. Since COVID, our club has inducted 5 new members, done quite well, and it has been fun. Since COVID, though, I found the importance of the coffee dates with prospective members, or the going out for a beer, as was mentioned already, is really important. In fact, I think it's probably pushed me into thinking, even when we're past this time and we can go back to regular in-person meetings, I don't think just inviting prospective members to the meeting only is good enough. I think that can be overwhelming sometimes for prospective members. So I think that we still need to do the one-on-ones and the 1-on-3, the coffee dates and that sort of thing. The other thing we do when we induct a new member is, and this came from our president, Trish Bess was talking last year about, someone asked her what she did with her certificate and her folder with her certificate in it and her 4-way test and all of that. She goes, well, it's just sitting in my drawer. Like most people, they just stick it in their drawer. So then our club started making a big deal about it a little more. We now frame the certificate and the 4-way test. We suggest they put it on their wall in their office or somewhere in their home. And we really try to make a big deal about that. And make it special. What else do I have here? I talk up front with new members about reasons why people leave the club and what we can do to prevent that with that new member. So even like right up front, before they even think they would ever leave, they would never leave. Why would they leave? They're just joining. We talk about, you know, people leave clubs. Why do they leave club? What would make you want to leave, you know, or decide not to be part of our club anymore? And we talk about that right off the get-go. And I think at least we've done that. Listen, I'll let you know how that works at the end of this year or a year from now, because I just started this a few months ago, making sure I talk about that. And then in those meetings, I usually invite Trish, if I can, who is our president this year, President Best, Trish Best, and anyone else who I think might be a good fit for a conversation. So just 3 of us maybe for that coffee date. And yeah, that's about it.
Thank you, Rhonda.
But you know, other people have to talk. So
okay, yeah, I know that all of you could just, you're all very enthusiastic, and I think that is actually one thing that really comes through. So I have 2 more, so I don't want to have it too long. And Liz from Leaside, who needs to go organize a movie. So
yes, and handle clients in between, because I'm in real estate. So it never ends. But I just want to start by, my hat is off to the Whitby Sunrise Club. I am so impressed with everything that they do, and it has actually helped me in looking forward as the president to what my goals would be. So now, interestingly enough, my goal in mind wasn't to attract, just to attract new members. I think for me, it's a matter of just who I actually am. So we are a small club. We don't have a membership chair. Maybe I am that. And we are now up to, I think, 27 members. We have I think 4 new members within the last few months. One of them was just this past week. And 2 of those members I have brought into the club. So I'm an entrepreneur by nature. I'm a people connector. And I've always learned that if you want people to be a part of what you're doing, don't make it a secret. Talk about it. And that's what I do. So I think that when I'm having a chit chat with anybody, if Rotary doesn't come into the conversation, that is highly unusual, because I'm excited. So, I mean, Rotary is not something that we are forced to do. It is a choice. And therefore, for me, and I'm sure for all of us here, that being a choice means that we are fully committed to it. And so we talk about it, and I'm very, very, very excited about it. One of the new members, she is now our social media director, and I had that in mind when I was chatting with her. I don't know how large our club is going to become, but it's not just a matter, as we all know, it's not just a matter of acquiring new members. It's also keeping our club engaged. And COVID, as horrible as it is, and challenging as it has actually presented us with so many opportunities. And one of them being, so one of my goals, because once I realized, okay, Zoom is something that we can do. So one of my goals was, and this is to help us bring in new members, is I said that once we can start meeting in person again, whenever that will be, is to have one of those meetings per month as a Zoom meeting. And therefore it would help people who, because you have an attendance level that you want people to do. Now, the thing is, of course, as we all know, that the more lunches or dinners or whatever meetings that you're able to attend, chances are you are going to be more engaged. So that was something that I know we are filled with a lot of older members who I respect greatly and have done so many wonderful things in the community over the years. The beauty of them, though, is as well that they were so open to any new ideas that we had. So I think, you know, what comes out of this is talking about Rotary, being excited about it. And I think that, like, for me, because I am a people connector, not everybody is. And I mean, I have so many faults, at least I've got that one. And it's then figuring out what would they be interested, talking to them about what their interests are, and making sure even before they join that you have them engaged in some form or another. And I think that truly helps. The newest member as of last week is somebody that I brought in who actually is a past client. And she, before she even became a member, she had already volunteered for the big screen, our drive-in movie event tonight. But then it's also keeping those members. So I made a pact with myself, because I have only been a member since March of 2019. I didn't really know all the members, all the members. Not everybody attends meetings, and so I made a deal with myself that I would contact, you know, especially the members that don't attend. Sometimes you have to have what you might think is going to be a difficult conversation, because they may tell you, no, I'm not happy. I don't, you know, I'm not happy with the club. But I think those are conversations that we need to have. And it's been really, really great. And I found that it's actually bringing people out. So interestingly enough, the Zoom meetings have been really great for us. And our members are actually, quite a number are attending the Zoom meetings and are being involved. And I think that if you feel you're of value, then of course you're going to be more apt to do things and suggest things. So that's another thing I always say. I'm a phone call, a text message, or an email away. I'm a very hands-on president. I can't help but be that way. So possibly that's one of the reasons that that we are keeping our membership as well, but it's not all on me, of course. It's being open to ideas, and I think that COVID as well has allowed us to this big screen event that we're having tonight would not have happened. And this is something new and it's exciting. So we're bringing something to the community, and I think all our members are very, very excited about it. So I think I've gone on and on and on as well, and I do apologize.
Okay, I'm going to thank you very much, Liz, and good luck tonight.
Thank you so much.
Lois McRae from the Eglinton Club. So Lois, I'm going to ask you to be not too long, but you had a great picnic, I hear, and we need you. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so I will be very brief. So we did have a great picnic, and that was actually kind of a wonderful thing. I'm sort of really glad I thought of it. I didn't realize it was going to be so great. But anyway, to go back to new members, we've had 7 new members, or 7 additional members this year, and I put it that way because 5 are new and 2 are returning. So of the 5 new, 3 of those have been brought in by our own members. One we got through the website, and one was a district lead. But having members bring in new members really is very good, because then they have a sort of a mentor already in the club, and it works well. And of our 5 new members, 3 of them are very active within the club. We have 2 returning members, and that's interesting too, because the 2 returning members were very active in the club years and years ago, but have been gone for some time. And they have come back just because certain members within our club have kept contact with them, invited them like to a Christmas lunch and that kind of thing, and we've now got them back. So it's very good. We have an active, fairly active membership committee. The membership committee makes sure that every new member is put onto a committee and gets involved in the club right away. And I think that this really helps. Once you've got people involved, they're, you know, it's because Rotary can be exciting. I find it exciting, and I think that putting people on the committee immediately is a very good idea. We have a new member night where we take new members. We do this only once a year, but so we take all the new members that have come on during that year, and we have an evening at a member's home just for them, where they can ask all kinds of questions of things that they don't understand, and that's very helpful too. So I'm not going to go on because I know that we're running out of time, but that's what we do at Toronto Eglinton.
Okay, thank you, Lois. And of course, we've all heard about the successful picnic and how that was that in person. So congratulations. We have, despite the fact that what I'd like to do is, so I'm going to give two other people a chance. I'm going to give you 1 minute each to tell me something that you've done in your club. So first person with your hand up. No? Everybody's quiet? Aha, I do have to say that I do know that Oshawa Parkwood has gotten new members by following the RI leads. So congratulations to Dave and their club. I also know that, yep, go ahead, David.
Just quickly, I just see in the chat room something very important, and it does talk about member leads. Rhonda just mentioned it. If you get a member lead from somebody in the district, do not waste 1 minute. Call that person immediately. That person has reached out to you and they want to know about Rotary. So don't wait 1 minute, get to them as soon as you can. And that's worked well for the 3 that we got the last couple of years.
Thank you, David. And one other special mention I need to do is for the Rotary Club of Willowdale. Now, somebody mentioned, you know, it might have been Liz and people just talking to, you know, just talk about Rotary. You're excited, tell people, bring it up in conversations. There are 18 new members at the Willowdale Rotaract Club, and they came in because members of the club chatted up their Rotary Rotaract Club with their friends and what they're doing. They're out doing a whole lot of hands-on things. I think one thing that comes out of all of this, I've been scribbling ideas like crazy. We are recording this, so you can go back and get these and pick some of these up. But I'm going to we'll put these in print as well. What I want to do now is I'm going to send people back to the breakout rooms, and you've got 20 minutes to have a discussion about what ideas, and we heard lots of good ideas, but did you hear did this make you think of other things that you could do? And not only that, what I'd like you to do is come back with 3 things that you think you can do in your club by the end of October to help energize your members or attract people, and 3 things for the next 3 months. So that's by the end of December. So facilitators, I think you'll go back to the same group. Is that true, Charles, or not?
Yes, the groups will be the same.
Okay. I do remember to take notes. I'd like to see all the ideas come back. You can send them to me, but we'll share top 3. There we go. Tut, 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 tut.
Everyone is back.
Welcome back. I hope the discussions went well. We've got on the agenda right now is I've given us 20 minutes for everybody to sort of give the top three before December, before the end of October, and the top three before the end of December. So it could be the facilitator that tells us that, or someone else from the room. You can decide, but Charles, I'll let you give the order.
Okay, we'll do the same. First room up is Lars, followed by Bob Wallace's room.
Well, Stephen Phillips from the Willowdale Club was kind enough to volunteer to be note taker and present the excellent ideas.
Our group talked about, and I'll basically talk in bullet forms. The first subject was member attraction and member retention, and how we go about this, and the common traits that seems to run amongst all the clubs. One of the keys to member attraction and retention is the attraction of good speakers with interesting subjects to the club. Amongst the common traits, there was it was felt that community engagement would be the most useful avenue, and that new members do not join our Rotary Club simply to attend meetings, but that they rather want to be active within the community. And perhaps one avenue would be to have a Friends of Rotary program to bring people in gradually, rather than just enrolling them and then throwing them into the club. We are looking at the restructuring of club meetings and activities, and e.g. Members, speakers, and working with non-Rotary groups such as Toastmasters or other similar groups, which are active within the community, and we could work alongside with our fellow clubs. It was felt that it was important to have a chit-chat time before the meeting, so that we can interact with each other rather than just sitting listening to one speaker or to the president going through the motions of the meeting. One great idea was to assign new members immediately to a committee, so they would come in and start work rather than being observers or just listening to the president talking within the meeting, and so on. And one of the useful tools would be to ensure that perhaps through restructuring, that you have a good website which is up to date and is kept up to date the whole time. We've been particularly lucky in the Rotary Club of Willowdale. We have a wonderful person who's handling our website, and she has really revolutionized it. It is felt that we should be very active in social media, which is today's communication means. And as I said before, perhaps one of the keys to attracting and keeping membership is a good speakers program. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. I think I have a list here. I see more than 6. Mm-hmm. So, awesome. Thank you so much. So what I'm going to ask people to do, stick with the top 3 for the end of October, the end of December. And if you, if you feel really strongly about an idea that that's already been said, fine. But otherwise, let's see if we can, if it's new, tell us. If it isn't, just let us know. That you don't need to repeat it. So, Charles, next room.
Bob is up next, and then Joseph following.
Okay, so within our group, things that we can get done in the next few weeks is one club wants to get together an in-person meeting as they can get together under the current rules, but get together and chat and see each other. Another suggestion is to look at the members and who are involved and who are not involved, and get them everybody involved. And the third one, I guess, is from one of our relatively new members, is to learn about the structure of the club and whether they have an active membership committee and who's on the membership committee. And those are the sorts of things that we talked about doing in the next few weeks. In the longer term, we talked about one club wants to do the same thing as Whitby Sunrise in the district, with a Facebook campaign with who their members are in the community and what they do. Another item was to have a look at their past members and who had left the club, and possibly try and invite them out and tell them what's going on in their club now. And the other one was, of course, making sure that their online presence in various different ways, whether it be Facebook, website, Twitter, is pertinent and up to date and active. So those are my, I think those are 6, Virginia.
Yeah, you got them. Thanks, Bob. All right. I know it's hard not to share all the ideas, but thank you so much. The one thing I ask is, if you've taken, hopefully you've taken notes about all sorts of ideas that have come across, please send them to me. My email address is in the chat room. Okay, so next room, Charles, please.
Joseph, followed by Joan.
Thanks, Charles. I think we had basically the same kind of discussion we had in our group. One of the things that came across is people want to get outside, and I think they wanted to walk together. And I think one of the clubs wanted to make sure that 100% of the club members will go for the walk by the end of October. So that was their goal. Right now, about 35%. The other interesting part was that 2 clubs, so I had your club and Willowdale, they wanted to do some events together by the end of the year. Again, they're very close to Wilcox Park, and they wanted the 2 clubs to come together to do a walk and also fundraise perhaps for the foundation walk. So that's for October, till the end of October. Till the end of December, anything from fundraising to, I found something interesting, was to create a meal together. So basically, together apart meal. So send in the recipe to everybody in your club, and then come back on Zoom and enjoy the meal together or dessert and see how it turns out. So I thought that was quite interesting, because this way, well, they test our cooking skills, I guess, in some ways. And you get to eat your own, whatever it turns out, either poison or great meal. So I thought that was a fun event it could be. And one of the clubs wanted to make sure that they finished their strategic plan by the end of this year. So that was great. And that's all I have, Virginia.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Charles.
Joan, followed by Dave.
Okay, we had a really good discussion. I'm going to do my 3 for the end of October. One of them that came from Linda, Whitby Sunrise, was excellent. Highlight the club through social media by having members do a 45-second presentation. Why did you join? I thought that was an excellent idea. And then our other 2 really come with getting a potential member and a new member involved as quick as possible. The Foundation Walk, October the 18th, is a prime opportunity to invite a potential member or a brand new member. and go out and social distance, etc. But plug them in quickly. If they join, get them onto a committee as quick as possible. Okay, end of December. I think the one that really jumped out at me was engaging new members faster. Angela from Twilight was almost immediately made secretary and social media person. And I think some of our clubs wait too long for people to have a role of such importance as we would consider it. So get them a role, ask them if they want to do it, they engage them faster. Getting a hands-on project going between now and the end of December. There's some people have already mentioned a number of them. I'm not going into those. And a new members night. We had one and it was outside, social distance in a backyard. Gets more difficult now, but having those new members together again, be it a Zoom or an outside event if that's possible, so that we can find out how things are going, what would they like to do, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm going to stop there because we're getting late and I have to go somewhere else.
Thank you. Okay, Charles.
Dave, followed by Marcy. Are you unmuted, Dave?
Sorry, I was muted, yeah.
There you go.
Just because I'm public image chair for the district doesn't mean I didn't hear some very nice things from people that were not solicited. Updating your website, splashing social media as much as you possibly can, getting good speakers. I've heard that loud and clear, but some of the things we talked about certainly were hands-on projects between now and the end of the year, but don't forget to ask the public for help. We're helping them all the time. Maybe it's time they started helping us. If you need money or something, simply say, we're doing a project and we want your help this time. Keep that in mind. One club is actually speeding up and reducing the time it takes to induct a member. They're making sure their process from the potential member standpoint to the new member standpoint is very short. That process has to be compacted. We can't afford to lose people. And probably the most important piece of the thing I've heard today was a fireside chat. What happens when you get that new member or potential member ready to come in? And this can be done between now and the end of October, certainly between now and the end of December. A fireside chat where they actually give to that potential member a bottle of wine and some cheese and ask their spouse to be there. And they have a virtual fireside chat talking about all things Rotary in 1 hour. Great fellowship, but also it gets that potential member actively involved right off the bat. So think about that as one. Virtual dinners, I heard a lot of that. We got to stay connected between now and the end of December. And one of the big ones for District Governor Mark was the bottle drive was so successful that we would like to do another joint district project if we could, perhaps in the spring. How about a garage sale? So that came out of our meeting too. So think about that one for between now and next May sometime. Another big district project like that where we all do the same thing at the same time.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, Charles.
Marcy, followed by John. And that will be it.
Thank you, Charles. Yes, I have a couple of things. My personal October item is that I want to get a copy of this meeting, either in print or in video, so that I can understand all these things that are going on today. There's an awful lot of information here going on, and I can't absorb all this stuff in an hour. That's just too much for me. So that's what I'm going to be harassing Virginia about. The next, I'd like Tim to come on board and just say a few words. He had some interesting things, and then I will. Bob is going to do a follow-up, and that'll be a longer-term December item. Follow-up on dues not paid and perhaps older members and so on. Tim, have you got a minute to come on?
Sure. Mine was a little more process-oriented in terms of what we're doing on our committee, and we had a last meeting, or sort of. To start the year, we focused on I think it was previously mentioned, probably stuff coming out of our club, which was the process of new members, moving them through the introduction, the induction, the announcement, the induction ceremony, the classification, through all the steps, the various steps in a defined time frame. The second, and what I'd like to do for this month, it's on my hit list, is that we go through the membership and look at who's participating, not participating, and review our strategy for those people. And that would be the focus of a next meeting, and a subsequent meeting then to look at outreach to prior members sort of in the network that were involved with the club before. And then that would help with a new member kind of drive. So I think those were the key points for me. Marcy, was there anything else that I forgot?
No, that's it. That was pretty good. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Are we good to go to the next group?
Yep. Next group is John Burns' group.
Okay. The phrase "great minds think alike" comes to mind. So I'm not going to go repeating all the same ones I've heard. One of the things that came over, and this was from Wilf, was we need to get out to the public. We need to start blowing our own trumpet, which is not something we've been in the habit of doing. We are very, very modest, but we need to change that. Get out there, loud and clear, tell people what we do and what we're about. We need to take every opportunity to speak to people about Rotary. As I said, even if you're doing a car wash as a fundraiser, when the people are there getting a car wash, talk to them about Rotary. We actually had success with that. We actually had 2 people wanted to join. Same thing with a barbecue that we did the other day there at Ontario Power. We talked to the people about Rotary, and we've had quite a few inquiries just from that. So anyway, the main thing is to get out there and shout the message. Don't be afraid. We're good. We need to let people know we're good.
Thank you, John. That's great. And I think it's an interesting bookend because I believe Liz started there with the, when she was talking about the Leaside Club. She just talks about Rotary to everyone. So we've talked, everybody's sort of reported back. There's lots of good information. All this common, if I call it the plenary sessions, part of this has been recorded. So all of these ideas are there for people to listen to, and they will be on the district website. Charles will tell us where to find them in just a minute. The other thing is if there's any ideas that come to mind or that that were in your discussion that you didn't get to tell us about, send them to me. My email is in the chat room, and my email's on the district website, so you can find it. Charles, where do we find the recording?
Dave could tell you specifically. It's on the Rotary website, and the section, I believe, says valuable.
No, we can't. They should be just about
useful resources.
Hold on. Sorry, Dave. Go ahead. Tell them what it's all about.
Useful resources.
Okay, perfect.
It will be under useful resources menu tab.
Thank you. So we'll be, and it'll take a couple of days, right, Charles?
Usually does, yes. But you'll also find all of the Tuesday talks there and previous sessions from this as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would just like to loop back for a second. What we wanted to get out of today, I don't know, but I think I heard a lot of ideas for energizing members and retention, and also lots of ideas for getting new members involved early, and how to keep members active, ideas of how to attract members. So I don't know, and anyone else can chime in, but I think we did a pretty good job covering off, if I do say so myself, covering off what we wanted to get through today. So any last comments or questions? I I had till 11:15 on this, but it's 11:08. It would be nice. Oh, Dave.
Something you asked me to mention.
I did.
Yes. Why do we have to have a positive public image in Rotary? Well, I'll tell you why. Here's what's happened. Current members become active and prospective members are eager to join. So make sure that is in the bottom of your head every time you think about a positive public image of your Rotary Club. Current members become active, prospective members are eager to join. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. So, shall we call? And Linda is saying goodbye.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I would like to add on to what Dave said and to what Trish Best always says about being loud and proud. Wear your Rotary paraphernalia. The number of people that come up to you and ask if you're really a member, and then just have loads and loads of questions, just pays off in spades. So go for it.
Okay. I have someone asking for an announcement, and then I'd like to ask Mark to close us out. Let me see. Who did my question come from? Let me see. Oh, Stephen Phillips. You have an announcement, Steve?
Yeah, at 1 o'clock today, the Rotary Club of Willowdale will be planting bulbs in the Gratitude Gardens to say thank you to all the first responders in the North York General Hospital. We're meeting at 1333 Shepherd Avenue East, and any volunteers would be greatly appreciated to plant bulbs. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Sorry to surprise you, Mark, but would you like to end our session?
Yes, you did surprise me. So if anybody wants to get some community engagement activities going, Stephen's 1333 Shepherd Avenue East event today, and the bulbs for North York and recognizing the first responders. A great idea, Stephen. I just want to say thank you to Virginia and the membership committee for putting this event on. This is very important for our members across the district to hear great stories of those clubs who pivoted and demonstrated resiliency in the face of COVID. I hear a lot of comments about sort of common trait, get out there in the community, that you don't have to necessarily have your big fundraisers that you've had in the past. Just get out there, do something like a bottle drive or a walk, and show it on social media. Be proud of what you're doing. We have the best kept secret in the world in Rotary. We do amazing things, but perhaps in a Canadian way and in our so-called humble ways, we need to let the world know that this is a great organization and there's so many opportunities and benefits of joining Rotary. So I'll let that be, and you know, use Dave Andrews as well to promote your events for level. There are a couple thousand people who actually follow our district social media site. So if you're posting something, Dave can as well, and that goes out to 2,000 people. Plus, many people share those items as well. So once again, thank you, Virginia.
Good.
Thank you, Mark. Have a great Saturday.
Dave wants the last word.
Just a quickie, welcome to our friend from District 704, Pastor Governor, Area Carrier. Welcome.
All right.
Thank you. I did really enjoy today, and I have quite a few good ideas that I got to get started on.
Good. Happy to hear it. Always happy to share. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope the sun comes back out.
Thanks,
Bye.
Virginia.
Thanks a million. Excellent.
Thank you, Charles.
Shirley, way to go.
My pleasure.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Virginia. Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
having us.
Thank you, Virginia, very much. Excellent.